Hey everyone, Pat from Aeroflow Performance, and today I'm going to introduce you to a new addition to our range of products, which is GM brake boosters and master cylinders. Okay, so we should probably just cover really briefly what these things are, why you need them, and how they would work in your vehicle. So loosely, we're going to talk about the brake booster. So generally when you apply your foot onto your brake pedal in your car, you're applying, in loose terms, about 70 pounds of force with that foot and just on the pedal. When it comes to modern braking systems and larger brake packages, you've got to use quite a bit of force to force the hydraulic fluid, the brake fluid, through the lines to the calipers or the brake drums, and then to expand those drum shoes or to squeeze the calipers down onto the disc to slow the vehicle down. Now 70 pounds seems like a lot, but it's not really when it comes to braking force. So the booster multiplies that force by way of using vacuum from the engine and then a dual diaphragm function inside of the booster. So it's increasing that force from about 70 pounds to anywhere from 200 to 300 pounds of force. So that makes it a lot easier to push the cylinder in the master cylinder. There's a little rod that goes through there and a little cylinder, and it pushes that hydraulic fluid through, the brake fluid through the lines to the individual wheel cylinders or to the calipers themselves and activates the brakes. So this makes the braking system a lot more user-friendly, makes it a lot easier to use and a lot safer really, because it doesn't require someone with big strong legs to jam that pedal down in an emergency situation or when you really need to wind the speed off the vehicle. This would be called in most cases power assisted brakes or power brakes when it's fitted to a factory vehicle. A thing that's been basically standard since the mid 1900s, I guess you would say. So power brakes would be something in the 50s or 60s. The reason why it's important to have these now is basically because everyone, not everyone, but quite a lot of people have hot rods or muscle cars, and the components in those vehicles are just starting to age. The diaphragms in the boosters get a little bit weak. The master cylinders themselves have to put up with quite a lot of torque of that force pushing through the body, so they start to distort, or the internal workings, so the seals for the piston and the rod and things like that will start to perish over time. Or you might have a factory unit that's just looking a bit tarnished, it might not look very nice, and you want to dress up the engine bay, and you can go with the all black theme or the chrome theme as we've got available here. So plenty of options, all reasons as to why you would use these products, but we thought we'd add it to our range because we're just continuing on that boot to bonnet sort of theme of being a one-stop shop. When we go through the two separate items, we've got the brake boosters, which they are a GM pattern, which is generally referred to for muscle cars, hot rods from earlier GM sort of chassis platforms. They're going to come in a 7-inch or an 8-inch dual diaphragm option. Then we have a couple of options when it comes to the master cylinders as well. So we have these cast iron factory style with the spring clamps on the top of the lid. That is a cast iron 1 1/8 bore master cylinder. And then we also have this sort of stylized, the smoothie finish on the top. This is a cast aluminium. master cylinder, and that is available with a 1 inch or a 1 1/8 inch bore size. Now that bore size is quite important to the style of brake system that you have, whether it's a disc and drum combination or if it's a all-wheel disc combination, and then potentially with say Roads and Traffic Authority regulations and engineering standards, you might have to go to a 1 1/8 depending on the engine in the vehicle, the weight of the vehicle, all of these sorts of things, which really should be confirmed with an engineer before you're doing any sort of safety or braking upgrade with these components. So something to keep in mind, or just run past an engineer before you decide on which master cylinder to go for. So while this is a fairly short and sweet video about the boosters and the master cylinders that we've added to our range, don't forget that we also have a full range of fittings, hard lines, flexi lines, braided lines to complete the rest of your braking system. So you can plumb these cylinders from obviously from the master cylinder to the individual corners of your vehicle and make up the lines, whether it's a show finish or a street, regular street car finish. All of that's available in our catalogue, and you can check that out at your local distributor, a quality retail outlet, or jump online at aeroflowperformance.com.